If you're looking for the ultimate off-the-shelf tuning module for your 2021 and newer 2.7 or 3.5 liter EcoBoost F-150, then the Edge Pulsar XT is it. This kit comes with preloaded tunes for more power, simple app-based control, plus an additional Bluetooth controller to make customizing your truck easy and accessible. Before we get into the nitty-gritty of what exactly this does, let's talk about our dyno results. Now, we ran our 2024 3.5 EcoBoost F-150 that you see behind me on our dyno to see how much power it would make. Our truck runs 93 octane fuel, and we performed all of our runs in 4th gear, which I know is not the ideal 1-to-1 ratio, but that was done so that we could get a clean pull all the way up to redline without running into our dyno speed limiter. In stock form, the truck laid down 370 horsepower at 4,400 RPMs and 478 pound-feet of torque at 3,300 RPMs. After installing the Pulsar XT and setting it to the highest power level possible, we ran the truck again and saw some pretty impressive peak gains. With the Pulsar cranked all the way up, the truck made 412 horsepower at 5,100 RPMs and 522 pound-feet of torque at 3,300 RPMs. That made for peak gains of 42 horsepower and 44 pound-feet of torque. And trust me, you could feel the difference. The whole thing just started to move. But peak gains are not the entire story. Take a look at the graph and you will see two distinct points where there was a huge difference versus stock. The first is around 3,200 RPMs, where we saw 30 horsepower and nearly 50 pound-feet of torque. Then again at 5,200 RPMs, where we saw 58 horsepower and 58 pound-feet of torque. So some seriously impressive curve gains too. And again, looking at that graph, you can see that it was consistently making more power and more torque the entire way through the rev range. For an out-of-the-box tuning module, that is a seriously impressive result. Now, as you can tell, we're starting off on the right foot with all of those power and torque gains. Now, EcoBoosts are notoriously easy to tune, but the Pulsar can help you make the most of it. There are 5 different power levels built in here, and as with everything in the Pulsar XT, you can change it via the app. And unlike a lot of other tuners, this one doesn't make any permanent modifications to your vehicle's powertrain control module, or PCM. So you can take this off when you bring your truck in for service, and nobody will be the wiser. Now, this setup connects to your boost sensor and your manifold absolute pressure sensor, or MAP sensor as it's commonly known, to increase boost and thus the engine's output. The module also does have a safety function built in for when the engine is cold, so it's not going to add any additional power until the engine is fully up to operating temperature. Now, controlling those 5 different power levels can be done using the app or the included Bluetooth controller right here. You can mount this discreetly in your truck and you can change the power level on the fly. But if you need more fine-tuning, look towards that app. And the app is compatible with both iOS and Android devices, so no matter where you fall on that spectrum, you'll be able to use it on your phone. Since the system connects to the OBD2 port and also to the accelerator pedal, you can not only change the engine's power level, but also the sensitivity of your throttle, plus some other parameters. You can adjust that throttle sensitivity and save those presets within the different power levels. So within each of the different 5 power levels, you also have 7 different levels of response, from less responsive in economy mode up to ludicrous mode, that are available for you each time. So you can really fine-tune not just the power, but also how your truck responds. You will also get the ability to customize other parameters on your truck. You can adjust the speedometer and odometer to accommodate for up to 37-inch tires. You can adjust how long your truck will idle when you remote start it. You can enable high beams and fog lights to run at the same time. And you can also activate or deactivate the tire pressure monitor system, the battery management system, plus the auto stop start system. So it gives you a lot of flexibility and customizability, which is not something we always see on these newer trucks. Even better, this will also read and clear diagnostic trouble codes, so if your truck does pop a check engine light, you can read and clear the codes right there in the app, saving you a trip to the shop or the dealer. Now, not much we can talk about with construction because, well, all of this is kind of hidden. But it is worth mentioning again that this is a totally plug-and-play setup, and it uses this module plus these 2 cords. Everything plugs right in using factory-style connectors, and everything is also nicely wired up too. You've got sheathing on it, so it looks like it came this way from the factory. The Bluetooth controller is battery-powered, and they even include batteries in the kit for you, which again, not something we always see. Plus, it mounts very discreetly, and it's very easy and satisfying to use. Pricing comes in at about $725 for this kit, and no mincing words, that is a stellar deal for all that you get. This combines the best of a programmer, a tuner, and a throttle controller all in one module, and you're paying less than you would if you bought just two of those things separately. So this is an absolutely killer price for all of the stuff that you get, not to mention the power gains that this can provide. So if you want to get something that's going to make a huge difference in how your truck drives and you don't want to spend a whole lot of money, this is a great way to do it, and it's not going to wreck your truck either. Installation gets a 1 out of 3 on our difficulty meter, and the job should take you about 1 hour to complete. Now everything comes out of the box ready to go. Like I said, it's all pre-wired and designed to plug right in. Everything is pretty simple. You just gotta do up a couple of plugs, run a few wires, and then get the thing programmed. You'll probably spend a bit more time getting everything programmed and hooked up to the app than you will actually installing this on your truck, but we're gonna walk you through the process right now. So for that, let's jump on over to the truck and I'll show you how to get it done. Tools used for this install include a ratchet, a 10 and 11 millimeter socket, something sharp such as a pick, an awl, or a razor blade, a small flathead screwdriver, and a pair of snips. All right, so we're gonna start out under the hood of our 24 EcoBoost F-150. The first step we're gonna do is disconnect the negative battery terminal. Using a 10 millimeter socket, we're just gonna disconnect the negative cable on our battery. Pull that off and set it aside. Next, we're gonna grab our harnesses. Now there are two harnesses in this kit. The smaller one with the OBD2 connector, this is gonna go inside the cab of the truck. So we'll set that one aside for now. And we're gonna grab the longer of the two. This is gonna connect to our boost pressure sensor and our map sensor at the back of the engine. So we're gonna go ahead and connect these up first. So we're gonna start by disconnecting our boost pressure sensor right here at the front of the engine. So this is very easy. Just slide this little white clip back. You'll hear it click, and then press down on it and pull straight back to disconnect it. Okay, so now we'll take our new harness and we're gonna connect these sides up. The larger of the two, you'll see there's 3 prongs inside, is gonna connect to the actual harness part. So that will slide in, the little tab goes on top. You just slide that in till you hear it click, then push the white locking tab back on. Then we'll take the other side and do basically the same thing. The little red tab up, we're just gonna plug that back into the sensor side till it clicks, and then push the red locking tab in. All right, now I've gotten myself situated up here on top of the radiator because we gotta do a little wire running. So we're gonna take our harness and feed it underneath of the intake tube. We'll come back and tighten all this up and clean it up later, but for now, we're just gonna pull this nice and tight. So we've got our wiring harness running through here, back to our map sensor at the back of the engine. Okay, now back here at the back of the engine, we're gonna disconnect our manifold absolute pressure or map sensor. This is the same thing as the boost pressure sensor too. Push the white locking tab back, squeeze down, and pull straight back. You'll have that connector out. Then we'll take our new harness. Now this one's a little bit trickier. You'll see there is a big piece on the top of this. This is gonna go on the bottom. So we're gonna flip this over just like so. Grab our wiring harness side and slide this in till it clicks. Push the locking tab back in. Then we'll take the other side of our new harness and plug that into the sensor. So again, the clip goes on the top here. Just slide that on, click the locking tab in place, and we're good. Next, we're going to attach the power wire to the positive side of the battery terminal. So using this grommet, we're just going to go right underneath of that little nut right there. So we'll take an 11 millimeter socket, loosen this up, pull it off and set it aside, and then we'll put the grommet right on there. Make sure we keep it nice and flat and put the nut back on. We'll tighten that down. Now we have to feed the rest of our harness through the grommet in the firewall. So I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna get a little something sharp, something like this, a pick or an awl or anything really that can poke through that rubber. We're just gonna poke a nice hole through it and then feed this cable through. Okay, so this is the grommet in question right here. So I'm just gonna take my pick, get a nice spot away from the center of it, away from the rest of the harness, and just start to push it through. Now we may have to go back through this with something a little bit larger later, but for right now, just focus on getting the whole board out. Okay, we'll leave that in there for right now. We'll make sure on the other side that it came all the way through, and we'll get this fed through. Now, if you're having a little bit of trouble getting this through the grommet like I am here, because that thing is pretty thick, What you can do is something like this. Grab a drill bit that you don't really care about, put it on the end, and we're gonna tape these together. I'm just gonna shove this through the pilot hole that we've already made, grab this on the other side, and we should be able to just pull the wire right through. So electrical tape would probably be best for this, but use whatever you got on hand. We're doing a little makeshift situation here. You just don't want to make this too terribly bulky. Again, this doesn't have to be all that pretty or elegant. It just needs to keep them together long enough to get it through that grommet. So I'll go ahead and finish taping this up, and we'll try and push it through. So now that we got our cable through, after a little bit of a struggle admittedly, we're going to plug it into the other harness that is included in the kit. So the cable that we just fed through the firewall goes into this connector here. You'll see there's a little tab on top that just goes in and clicks like that. You'll feel it. Next, we'll connect the actual Pulsar module into this big connector right here. So again, little tab on the top, just push that in until it clicks. We'll set this aside. The other part of this is the OBD2 connector, which is gonna go right into the OBD2 port right here underneath of our dashboard. So we'll just go ahead and connect that up right now too. And the last thing we have to do is connect these two over on our accelerator pedal. Okay, now we're over on our accelerator pedal, and as I have turned it into a circus acrobat to show you this. This is our last connector that we have to do, and it's gonna work basically the same way as the ones under the hood. So there is this little release tab right here, the safety tab, and then right ahead of that, you'll just push and squeeze and just wriggle that free. So now we'll take the other side of this connector on our harness that looks just like the thing we just pulled off. Put that right back in its place. Push the safety tab in, and then we'll take the connector from the truck and slide it in like this onto our harness. Again, the little tab here goes on top. Push that until it clicks, press the safety tab in. Now we'll just do a little bit of wire routing and make sure everything is out of the way, and we can get to tuning. Okay, now we've moved over to our accelerator pedal to do up the last bit of the connector. This is basically the same as the ones under the hood, so there's a little locking tab that we'll just flick back. Right ahead of that, we'll just push down on the connector and then wiggle it free. Now we'll take our new harness, and you'll see there's a piece on the new harness here that looks almost identical to the harness on the truck. We'll connect that piece from the harness onto our accelerator pedal until it clicks. Push the locking tab in. Then we'll take our connector from the truck and connect it to the other side. You'll see there's a little black tab here. And same thing, pull the safety connector back, push them together till they click, push the safety tab in, and then we'll just tuck this up out of the way so it doesn't touch our steering column. All right, the last piece of the puzzle before we actually get to tuning properly is a little bit of cord management. So in the kit, you've got some Velcro and a bunch of wire ties. I'm gonna go ahead and stick a piece of Velcro on the back of the Pulsar XT module, just like that. Peel the other side, and we're gonna stick this right here on this flat part of plastic so it's out of the way. The other thing we're gonna do is pull a little bit of this excess cable back into the engine bay where we can zip tie it off. And you just wanna check underneath here that the wires that we did connect, especially the one going over to the accelerator pedal, is not in the way of the brake, the accelerator, or the steering column under the dash. So just go ahead under there, clean everything up. We'll get back to the engine bay and do that next. Back under the hood, we're gonna pull that excess cable that we had from inside of the truck. Just gonna give that a nice gentle pull until it comes taut. Then I'm just gonna coil this guy up, kind of move it over here. Basically what we wanna do under here is make sure that despite the fact that this is already sheathed, we wanna make sure that the wiring is pretty much away or as far away from anything that gets hot or moves as we can. So I'll go ahead, I'm gonna zip tie the excess of this over here, and I'll do maybe one or two more leading over to the map sensor. So just take my included zip ties, get right through this convenient hole from the firewall. Do maybe one more here across the top of this booster bracket, just so we keep this from falling down. There we go. And we'll do one more over here just to keep this out of the way. Okay, then you can trim off the edges here, the excess. Again, I know this is not the cleanest wiring job, but we're putting our truck back to stock after this. So we'll go over here and just check on our map sensor and the rest of the wiring harness. We'll do maybe 1 or 2 more here to just keep that out of the way and keep it safe. And the last thing we have to do under the hood is reconnect our negative battery terminal. Now we can head into the truck and work on the app and the rest of the connections. The last little piece of the puzzle is the Bluetooth controller that goes to this that changes the power levels on the fly. So of course we got to put batteries in it. Just using a little flathead screwdriver, you can pop the back off and then just pop in the 3 button cell batteries that are included with the kit. Pop that back on, and you can see the lights are going. Before we do anything else though, we'll do some Velcro. So we can attach this to the dash. You can put this really wherever you want. I'm gonna go ahead and put it right down here. So I'll just peel one side of the Velcro off like that. And then do the other one, same thing. Once we have that kind of where we want it, just go ahead and stick it right there on the dash. All right, now we're gonna fire up the Pulsar XT app. So we'll make sure that our little Bluetooth guy is turned on here, and we'll open the app as it searches for the module. As it says on here, first time you've got to be within 1 foot. So then we will just make sure this is all good. Like this says right here, you want to do these, any of these tuner modules, you want to do these when you have some excess time. So we'll just go ahead and hit continue and let this thing connect. All right, we'll go ahead and do our login here. So now that we're logged in, we're just waiting as it checks for updates. All right, this did find some updates. It asked us to make sure that the key was off. So now we're gonna turn the key to the on or run position without starting the engine. Let it go through its beeps and bongs. All right, and we'll hit OK. And now we're gonna leave the truck on until this prompts us to turn it off. Do not turn the truck off. Basically, don't do anything until this is finished updating. This is a great way to show what might happen to you too. We're gonna close the app and start it all over again without turning the truck off. So we're not gonna do anything right now. We're just gonna go back into the app. All right, we're gonna give it another try. Turn the truck off. Yes. Okay, now that we've gone through and gotten the updates done, that's just gonna be a situation where you gotta follow the prompts on screen. We're gonna open back up the Pulsar XT app, and we're gonna turn the truck on without starting the engine. Now that the truck is done bonging, we can see we are at the home screen for the Pulsar XT module. So there's a bunch of different things that you can do, and this may vary depending on exactly what model truck you have. We'll start with the power level one, because this is the thing we're all here to really see. Now within this, you can go from anywhere from stock power all the way up to power level 5. That's what we're gonna be dynoing our truck with. And within those, if you select that, you can hit over here also, and you can change the pedal sensitivity, which is why we connected that to our accelerator pedal. So you can go anywhere from stock all the way up to ludicrous mode, which will basically be like a light switch. The second you touch that pedal, it's gonna give you a ton of input. Or you can drag it down a little bit if you wanna go for better fuel economy. So you can customize each of these different modes as such, so anywhere in between there, even in stock, you can change the throttle sensitivity in here. So we're gonna leave that in power level 5 for right now, and we'll go back to our main screen. Next thing is the tire size. So this has to be the only thing that's plugged into the OBD2 port, so if you've got any other kind of modules or any kind of code readers or anything like that, make sure you unplug that and get the Pulsar in there. Make that the only thing you have, not even some kind of piggyback module. And then in here, you can change the different tire size. So if you've upsized yours to a 33 or 35 inch tire, you can just hit the plus or minus arrow right there and then hit update tire size. We're not changing anything on our truck, so we're just gonna go back. All right, in here we have our tire pressure monitoring system settings. So you can change this to suit whatever you need. If you need to run a higher pressure or a lower pressure in your tires, again, just use the plus or minus arrows. If you want to change the measurement, you can put it down there, or you can disable the system entirely and then just hit update. Again, we're not going to change anything else on our truck other than the power level, so we'll go back to the home screen here. Here you have your auto stop start. This gives you the disclaimer that for 2023 and newer models like our 2024 F-150, the auto stop start system can only be disabled if you've also disabled the battery management system. Which, great news, we can do that right here as well. So over on the right-hand side, we have our battery management system. So this will change a couple of things for you. You're not gonna get a warning if your battery is low on voltage. You're not gonna get a battery warning light or charging system service or any of that stuff. Some people like to have that off. Again, it's a matter of preference. We're gonna leave ours on because we don't wanna mess with anything else. In here, your honk warning. This is basically to enable or disable that honking noise if you take the key out while the truck is running. So for our truck where we have keyless start, if you take the key away from the truck and shut the door with it running, it'll start honking at you. Again, we're just gonna leave that as it is. Down here we have our remote start duration. Stock is 15 minutes. If you wanna set it for anything else, or if you wanna disable remote start, you can just hit that right there. Again, we're not changing that. And then here we have a couple of other cool options as well. So the first one, your fog high beams dropout. Basically, if you trigger the high beams using the stalk here, the fog lights will turn off. If you turn this setting off and then activate the high beams, your fog lights will stay on with them. For your headlamp switch down here, these trucks automatically revert to the automatic setting every time you turn it back on or off. Here, if you turn this setting off, it will remember the last setting you have it in. So like I have ours turned completely off right now. And you've got a couple different types of daytime running lights here that you can change as well, depending on your taste. And you've also got dark mode. So this will just automatically turn the vehicle interior lights off even when you open the door. And you can just hit update lighting options if you want to do any of that. Then we get over to the diagnostics section. This is where you can read and clear diagnostic trouble codes and can also check your emissions readiness status. So we're going to go ahead and read the trouble codes, see if we've got anything on the dashboard. And you'll see we've got a bunch of stuff on here because I was messing about with this truck. So from right here, we can clear the trouble codes. And we'll hit yes. Now we're all clear, everything should be good. So if we read it again, nothing should come up. No trouble codes found. Great news. You can also check the emissions readiness status and everything should be good to go. These are not on because, well, the truck is not running right now, but that's okay. So we'll go back here. And I'll set this aside. I want to show you the Bluetooth controller as well. The last piece of the puzzle is that little Bluetooth controller that we put in earlier. Now this can only be used if you are not using the app. So in order to use this, make sure the app is closed on your phone. The idea here is that this can change the different power levels on the fly as you're driving. So if you find yourself running up a bunch of hills and you need a little bit more power, or you just feel like your truck's feeling a little sluggish, you can change this. This will not change the throttle sensitivity settings. It'll go to whatever the default is that you've already set. Pairing this is very easy. You just need to make sure everything is plugged in, your truck is on, and you just press that button. It'll go through a little sweeping section. Ours is already paired. And then you can see you've got all your different power levels. So you've got stock 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So just by hitting this button right here, you can change it up. So we'll put it in 5, and then you can just put it back down, and then that one is stock. And then you can mount this pretty much anywhere in the truck. Again, I put it right down here, so you can easily just hit it on the fly. That's going to wrap it up here for our review and install the Edge Pulsar XT Inline tuning module, fitting 2021 and newer 2.7 liter and 3.5 liter EcoBoost powered F-150s. Thank you so much for watching, and for everything F-150, make sure you keep it right here at AmericanTrucks.com.